At what age did you get over partying and getting wasted? I turned 25 in a couple of weeks. I used to go pretty hard in my late teens and early 20s. I also had a really good capacity to hold my liquor and never had a single hangover. However, as of late I've passed out after a few drinks and am realizing that I can't go as hard anymore as I used to even a few years ago. I also don't enjoy getting wasted and partying anymore. I'm more than happy to spend my weekends at home or doing fun activities in the day and be in bed by 10:00 p.m. On one hand, I'm glad I'm not abusing my body anymore, but on the other, I always thought I'd have more time, at least mid-30s, until my old man era began. I'm curious, at what age did y'all get over partying and getting wasted? Edit fixed typo. I'm 27 now and I definitely notice the hangovers are a little worse than when 18-23. But I prefer to drink less and less frequently. Moderation is key. I was partying hard in my early 20s. But now at 27 I'm over it. Can't handle the hangovers and would rather spend my weekends doing something productive. Plus, being in bed by 10 a.m. is pretty nice. I still enjoy a good pub session. But I stopped clubbing about 26-27. By that time I'd been doing it for about a decade and just felt a bit done with it. But I'd been going less and less since about 24. Started to much more enjoy just sitting in a pub with my friends or going out for dinner and drinks. Right around 28. I just don't enjoy alcohol and drugs no more. It's super fun for 20 minutes at most. And quickly turns the whole night sideways, potentially next day too. So with that mindset, partying hard turns into a depressing chore. It's 2 a.m. and everyone is out of their minds having fun while you're just slowly realizing how horrible it all is from outside looking in. Never stop, just frequency is smaller. But I genuinely don't see anything wrong with partying, especially in a known environment with people you trust, just so much better. Keep in mind, when I go out big, but normally I train in the gym or on the field. I'm 38 and I still do those things. No kids helps. I'm pretty healthy otherwise though, so I figure it's balance. I'm 35. Never really got out of it. It's all about opportunities. Is it just a work party? 2 or 3 drinks, then I'm going home. Is it with my best friends and no one has work tomorrow? Babe, we're gonna regret life tomorrow. I'll be honest, I'm nearly 27 and I've never partied. Never had many friends and didn't really go to bars or clubs. This sounds naive, but I honestly thought that was a movie thing. Didn't know so many young people actually do all that stuff. Around 26-27 I started to think the nights out are not worth the day after feeling so shit all day. 10 a.m.? Why do you go to sleep so early, man? About 21. I partied in the 90s. 8 MDMA almost every weekend from 1996 to 2001. By the time I turned 21 and could legally drink and party, I was over it. Everything in moderation, my man. I plan to be hosting weekend pool bashes in the old folks' home. I never started. Seen too many horrible decisions and lives ruined over alcohol. I'm 29 and can confidently say I've reached this stage in my life where I am done with the binge drinking and going out on a regular basis. I feel like I tried to hold on to it from 25-28 because similarly I'd always thought I could keep it going into my mid-30s. My advice: let go and do what makes you happy. We're not in high school or college anymore. There's no one you need to impress on social media. I found it was tied to my emotions more than age. When I am low, I fall back on drink. I have really had to work hard to rethink my relationship with alcohol because of it. In your 30s, hangovers get way worse, and for me, I would get 2-3 day anxiety from hangovers. Another factor is your friend group. Once your friend group slows down, it is easy for you to slow down. Last piece, your wife and kid. At least for me. My wife isn't into drinking, so it is easier to just go without it. About 22. Just realized how much garbage I felt after I drank and stuff, and for how long. So I quit doing it. I never got into it. I got over getting wasted on alcohol at only 16 or something. I realized I was invited to parties more or less as unpaid entertainment. Then I moved on to drugs, which I mostly stopped doing only because my friends stopped. 30-ish. I'd get blackout drunk multiple times a week up until my early 40s. I don't have kids, but I have too much work responsibility now. There's no way I could make it through a Wednesday even mildly hungover. Now I just enjoy a few drinks on a Saturday afternoon, and that's about it. Never done it. Never got the appeal from all the stories people tell. For me it was never. I never felt like partying or hooking up was for me. Early 30s is when I slowed down big time. I went from guzzling down whatever to sipping whiskey bourbon on the rocks at home. No more hangovers either, no matter how much I drink. About 43. I quit drinking at 45, 2.5 years ago. Never started. There's more fun things to do than vomit and lose memory for a night. I'm 30. I've been to a lot of parties as most of my friends turn 30 as well this year. Quite often at these events I have felt the feeling of sigh. I wish I was at home chilling with movies, games instead of this. I'm 35 and still party and get wasted. But instead of every weekend, it's like once every 2 months. You know, there is a difference between partying and getting wasted. X200B. I am 48 and still go to music festivals and the like. I went from partying to a full-fledged alcoholic and drank up to 57 yo. You're wise to give it up and not play with fire, as it hits us unexpectedly. In my late 20s when I got pancreatitis, I never got over it. Just ended up with no friends that were into it. So it is what it is. I'd love to go clubbing on weekends still because I actually enjoy dancing. But none of my friends do. Never done that. I'm 39 now. And honestly, I'm just getting started with drinking and partying. I've done none of that through my teens, 20s, or even early 30s. I somehow feel more energetic and resilient compared to what was supposed to be my prime. I was never a fan. I never did. I prefer late nights grind in games. Your body kind of decides for you. In college a lot of us could get wasted and make it to 9 a.m. class, or at least the alcohol didn't affect our attendance either way. Early to mid-20s a weekday rager is felt the next day. And there comes a point where if you're planning to drink heavily on the 4th of July, you know you're not gonna be available on the 5th. Then at some point when you get drunk Friday night you lose your whole Saturday. Or at least most of it. At some point it just isn't worth it to get wasted. Although obviously different people handle it differently. M54 here. Still going strong. Got divorced for the second time around 10 years ago and decided to just enjoy life instead of trying to jump back on the old dating partner marriage conveyor belt again. The last 10 have been my best. Once you stop going to parties you might as well get your old men's slippers. I am still going and I think I might need new hips. My name is Rod and I like to party. I just turned 37 a few days ago. And I've been feeling like that for a very long time. But I still keep doing it. And let me tell you something that you may or may not know, and it's that the older you get the worse the hangovers are and the longer they last. I'm 32 and I still party anytime I can, lol. It's not often anymore because a lot of my friends have kids now, but when we get the chance, There's no stopping us.